So we are going to be going over the trends. We're going to be going over the trends that I think are going to be kind of a thing for 2026 without really watching any runway shows. I usually do watch a few to kind of get the vibe, but I watched one this year. It was the Chanel Underground show on the subway. And I said after I saw that, I was like, I've seen enough. I almost cried watching it, and I rarely cry. Like, it was such a beautifully done show. I don't know who the creative director is over at Chanel anymore. I was really just like taken aback by the minimalistic nature of it. I also felt like the show itself was very, like, it was trying to tell a story. It wasn't trying, it was telling a story. It was using the music as, you know, runway shows do. But what I witnessed was a moment in time, and moments in time throughout history within the show. The models were like really dull in expression, and throughout the show, towards the end, it gets lighter. There's newspapers, there's people wearing their best and their finest, which is what you find in a lot of like old war movies. And in that time, people were really invested in wearing their best pieces because you didn't have a lot back then, and if you had to like do anything special or go out, you were pretty much just like confined to like your best. And so I think that was like the vibe of the show. Everybody looked different. Nobody was cookie cutter. Sometimes when you go and you watch these shows, you notice the models are all kind of within like the same category of like, it's this silhouette, it's this silhouette. This show felt very like everyday life, like before everybody started focusing on trends. Now, to go off of that, trends are no longer a thing. Everything that you can do now, you're going to be able to wear what you've already been wearing. Obviously there's things that are more trendy than others. Like, as time goes on, there's plenty of videos out there that can tell you like what the trends are for this year, but for the most part, you should be able to get away with wearing any silhouette that you want, because fashion itself, there's like been really no new ideas, especially from the last season to this season. I'm not seeing anything really new. I think if you have been paying attention to your own inner compass, you're going to have no issue dressing yourself in styles that feel like you and your best. I think obviously accessories are going to be a huge thing, but you can do that every day. Like, I have these glasses that I wear every day. I've had them for like 3 years. I need to get a new prescription, but like, these are really dirty right now. But yeah, they are like a statement in and of itself. And so you can infuse things like that into your wardrobe. Obviously, there's a trend right now on like Instagram and TikTok that's talking about like, what are they talking about? 2016. They're talking about 2016 fashion. Well, not even fashion, just 2016. Noticed throughout 2020 to 2026 is this confinement of creativity and lack of self in a lot of the content you're seeing. It's a lot of people, because the economy is so bad, they have been creating. Everybody can be a creator, and there's like trends and trends and trends to get an audience. And because people have been so desperate to get that audience, like, it's tied into it totally. It's totally tied into it. But like, people have been craving that audience. They were doing what's trendy instead of what's like real to them, and we're stepping away from that, and we're going into more like individualistic creators, obviously, and more individualistic pieces that are in your wardrobe. A good practice, I think, is just to kind of stop going to read about fashion in a way that is a consumerist brain, and start consuming like a consumer who knows who they are. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, you're gonna go on a website and you're gonna just start saying, I like this, I like that, I like this. Another thing a lot of people are doing, obviously, is like color seasons. I have a whole video about that, like how to become more stylish in your 30s. But yeah, color seasons, knowing your color seasons, it does cut down on a lot of the BS when you're out shopping, because you kind of just like know innately what colors are going to work and what aren't. You're not going to entertain things. You're not going to like really want to work with things that aren't working for you. And I think that's what we're doing as a society. It's like it's like stepping away from like that group hive mind to the more individualistic but like community based mindset, because I think when people are so focused on trends, and we're seeing it now, they vote in more conservative ways, obviously, and people are afraid to like go against the grain and say what's actually their truth, or they are more inclined to become very greedy and conservative in terms of resources. And I think that that's kind of being looked at right now as well. But in terms of like fashion and trends, there are no new trends in my opinion. I'm not seeing anything that's like groundbreaking, other than the news. So that is basically it. I will say, the things that you're going to be seeing, like in terms of like what is trendy, charms and like little knickknacks, things that like just make you, or like things that make you happy. I think people are going to start gatekeeping more. I think people want to be offline more. That's been a huge trend. So I guess that is kind of something, and you'll see that in the fashion. I think that's a part of people becoming more plugged into their creativity as well. Yeah, so I don't really have like the next like 10 things that are trendy this fall. We're in winter. Anyway, I don't have any of that going on in this video. It's more or less just a little chatty, this is what I've noticed video. This is how I mean, I don't know how I'm going to engage with it. I feel like I've already been engaging with that kind of like mindset anyway. I think a lot of thought is going to be going into like making videos versus like, for me personally, I don't know if I'm going to continue like the weekly videos. I'll try, but I feel like also the creator market feels very saturated and it feels very stifling, not in like a way that I don't want to create. I just want more time to kind of like sit with my thoughts and create from that place. So yeah, that's kind of what I've noticed in terms of like trends. And definitely go read my blog if you want. I wrote about wide leg jeans, but it wasn't really about wide leg jeans, but you can read that if you'd like. Yeah, so I hope everybody's just doing well as you can, because it's really rough out there. I don't know how you're keeping sane. I'm not. I'm trying, but it's really it's hard. And I don't feel like I need to have it all put together, and I don't feel like I need to be this perfectly packaged, like wrapped in a bow. I have all the answers. I don't have any answers. In fact, the older I get, the less I know. And I think that that's funny, because they say that's like when you're younger, you're very self-assured, you know everything. And then you get older and you're like, I actually don't know everything. So that's kind of where I'm at. But in terms of like trends and fashion, I definitely just think people are fed up of like following the crowd. And yeah, I think we're kind of in this like underground phase of life. What that looks like, couldn't tell you. Don't want to tell you, even if I did. But I think we're just going to help each other out more in terms of like just being better people. You're going to be able to see who is fine with being complacent and who's not. You're going to see moments of weakness in yourself, obviously. That's always interesting. For instance, I can use myself as an example, and I will. I was boycotting Target, and I've been back to Target. I have to do some inner reflecting there, but that's what I mean. Like, it calls you to be a better version of yourself. You're gonna fuck up. You're gonna, change your mind. You're gonna go, okay, like that was not great. That wasn't a smart move. That wasn't who you are, but we're always changing. And I'm not saying it's right, because I definitely don't want to be shopping at Target, but I have. And I need to admit that, because I publicly was like, don't shop at Target. So I have shopped at Target since that. I was going strong for like 7 months. I felt so proud of myself. And I'm sharing that because like I'm fallible. I'm a person who I try to live my life with my morals in alignment. And sometimes like there's duality, and sometimes like you have to shop places where you wouldn't necessarily want to because it's safer, because certain services can be offered to you if you're going to these places. So with that being said, that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I think the fashion's at. I think I'm so serious. I haven't really done anything. I have some items that I'm excited about, but I don't feel like sharing them right now. I feel like that'll be like a different video. Because when you create content, you're constantly like, okay, how can I make another video? And so whatever. But yeah, that's basically the trends that I think I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm done so already. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.